UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Hi everybody, and welcome to UCLA Bruin Talk. I'm Dave Marcus. Allow me to introduce you to Courtney Casso. We are your hosts for today as we visit the great outdoors. We're going to spend a lot of time in the sunshine, and we'll open it up with a couple of the young stars of the women's golf team right after this.
Before we get to our next guest, let's take a look at the month's upcoming events.
Always a strong program on campus, but frustrating because they're all so much better than I am. It's great to welcome a couple of the golfers in from the UCLA women's golf team. Let's say hello to Stephanie Kono and Tiffany Lua. Thanks for joining us on UCLA Bruin Talk.
Thank you. Thanks.
Stephanie, tell us about this year's golf team and the finish you folks had in the tournament in North Carolina.
Well, I think starting at the beginning of the year, we didn't really know what to expect, and we had a young team. And we did pretty well throughout our season. We finished runner-up a lot, and it was pretty frustrating. And we broke through a couple of times in Arizona and in Texas, and ultimately we didn't finish so well in the postseason. But I think we had a really fun time, and hopefully next year we can come back even stronger.
Tiffany, as a freshman coming into this program, how different is it growing up playing in individual events and all of a sudden you're part of a team?
It's completely different, especially golf. You find it's more of an individual sport. Now, you know, when you're playing tournaments, you have your teammates in front of you and behind you. Your coaches are supporting you. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really nice to know everyone has your back.
What are some of your lasting impressions of your first year here on campus?
A lot of good memories, you know. Sometimes when you travel alone or play your own tournaments, it gets a little lonely, or you spend more time with your parents and just friends. But this time, like being in college golf, being with the team, you get to know everyone a lot better, a lot closer. You just create more memories and eat a lot of food together.
When you guys were at Nationals, play was suspended a couple times because of lightning storms. So tell me a little bit about how the weather was an obstacle and how you guys overcame that, and how much you love being in Southern California where you don't have that.
I mean, luckily, the way that our tee times worked out, we weren't really caught up in the storms too much. We were pretty much done by the time play was called off. So we kind of got lucky on that one.
Well, talking about weather, you know, in Southern California, you've got pretty great weather for golf. But what can pose challenges for you, like strong winds, and how do you guys deal with that?
Just practice and experience, I guess. I think for all of us, we've experienced pretty much any type of weather. So yeah. We've had hail, we've had rain. So it's just about experience and practicing, even under bad conditions. Prepared. Yeah, just being really prepared.
Now, we really have East and West covered here. Stephanie, you're from Honolulu, and Tiffany, you're from really far east. Rowland Heights, it's about a half-hour drive.
Yeah.
Tell us first, Stephanie, about the difference between playing Hawaii golf and California golf. What are the differences?
I think the biggest difference is the wind, golf-wise, because it's so windy in Hawaii, and I practice on a range where it blows 20 miles an hour left to right, and so I really like California and California golf courses. I miss Hawaii, but I'm really enjoying the golf courses here.
Tiffany, there's an old saying the Scots say, if there's nae golf, there's nae wind, there's nae golf. But we don't have a lot of wind here in California. What kind of courses did you grow up playing, and how is it playing the college courses now?
I grew up mostly in the valley, so I had to deal a lot with heat, dry weather. Every once in a while, I'd get the Santa Ana wind, so I mean, I'd still get some windy conditions. But overall, you played different tournaments, you know, on the East Coast and from all over the United States. So you pretty much kind of, over time, get used to different weather conditions.
Tell us about a course that you played as a collegian that surprised you. You didn't expect what you actually found. Anything unusual about the courses you played this year?
Well, I mean, fall preview this year was pretty brutal, I'd say, for all the teams, just because it wasn't hailing, but it was cold and it was just really rainy, and it was windy and everything slipping everywhere. So that was a little difficult for everyone. But other than that, not too much.
Stephanie, Jack Nicklaus always said, when you go out to the range, practice with a purpose. Don't just go out there and whack balls around. How much do you work on the range on situations that you're likely to encounter on whatever course you're going out to play?
Well, I think when I came to college, I really got a sense of how to practice. And before, I would just beat balls on the range. But now, I really do try to practice with a purpose, and I try to be on the range when I'm working on my swing or technical things. But I think as a team, we try to go out and play more golf on the course so that we get more like realistic practice.
So Tiffany, you're just finishing up your freshman year here.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the transition, and was it manageable? Was it difficult to come in and be an athlete and have school and the workload?
I guess coming into my freshman year, I did expect it to be a little difficult just because I didn't really know what to expect. I definitely got lost a few times going to places. I don't know, I guess overall it was manageable because I've always been, you know, a planner in terms of time management. It can get really overwhelming at times just because you're traveling so much with golf tournaments. But I think I'm okay so far.
Do you look to your team and, you know, girls like Stephanie who've been doing this a little bit longer to like lean on them and learn and ask advice?
Yeah, you know, they'll give me advice on, you know, how to manage my time and what to spend more time on and how I can practice better and just more efficiently. So it's been helping out a lot.
Now later this month, you're both going to join 8 other collegiate golfers as part of the U.S. Curtis Cup team. That's a great honor. Tell us,
Exciting.
Stephanie, about the Curtis Cup and what the competition is.
It's a competition between the U.S. and Great Britain and Ireland, and it's every 2 years, and I think they go back and forth between Europe and U.S. is where they host it. And this year, I believe that the Curtis Cup match is going back home, and it's where the Curtis Cup started in Essex. That's in Massachusetts. So it's a tournament with a lot of history. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be amazing. Everyone tells me that it's like gonna be the best time of my life. So I'm really excited.
Well, most of our viewers are familiar with the Ryder Cup that the men professionals play and the Solheim Cup, which the LPGA professionals play. But you watch something like that, the excitement, hole to hole, shot to shot, mentally in a match play competition like that, how do you keep yourself in it if you hit a bad shot?
Well, in match play, I think it's easier because if you have one bad hole, you're just down by one. It's not like if you make triple, quadruple, it doesn't matter. But it's really exciting. The mental part, the strategy is a little bit different in match play, especially when you're playing with a team. We're not playing by ourselves. We have a partner for each match. So it's going to be really different. it's hard, but I think it'll be a good experience.
And Tiffany, is one of the formats alternate shot, like in the other competitions I mentioned?
Yeah, pretty much it's alternate shot and best ball, so which is like the best score between you and your partner. And the last one, which is on the last day, is just singles on your own.
Have you played any alternate shot tournaments?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to play other team events, and it involved also an alternate shot.
It definitely gets you and your partner on a certain plane. If you're putting the partner in trouble or the partner's putting you in trouble, how do you shake that off?
Usually, between you and your partner, you usually start the round by saying no sorries, because you're going to probably expect to put the other person in pressure situations as they're probably going to put you. And just know that both of you guys are trying your best, and just do your best and play.
As a spectator, you know that we're watching all the matches going on. We've got a scoreboard in our head. You're just playing one match, one shot. How much are you getting feedback from your captains about what's going on in the rest of the course?
From experience, there are usually leaderboards kind of throughout the golf course. For me, I think that's the most updates that I'll ever get, but I don't think captain really will tell us like, oh, you know, other groups are doing this. I think she just wants us to like focus on our own match and have everyone just kind of like take care of their own business. So.
Stephanie, when you're playing a tournament, whether it be stroke play or match play, are you conscious of the leaderboards, or are you trying to ignore them?
I usually try to ignore them. I don't even really watch my playing partners hit sometimes. I try to stay in my own bubble and just really focus on my own score.
What's the strongest part of your game?
Let's see. I think the strongest part of my game might be my ball striking. I feel very confident in my ball striking, but it could always be better, like anything else.
And Tiffany, what have you improved on since you came to UCLA?
I improved a lot on, there's some few changes that I want to make in my swing, so I feel like I made a big breakthrough on that, and I'm just kind of working on transitioning that to competitive tournaments, being able to use that new transition or new change under tournament pressure, so I'm just working on that right now.
You have to be so mentally strong and focused in golf, so let's start with you first. What do you do to get in that bubble and in that focus, in that zone, to just perform as an individual?
I guess it's kind of cliche, but when I'm on the golf course, I don't think about what I did like an hour ago. Just kind of, you look at what you're doing and you visualize what kind of shot you want to do, and I think by doing that, you kind of just stay in your own little bubble.
Visualization is a huge part of golf. Is that an aspect of your game and how you approach a course?
Definitely. I usually go over a course in my head the night before a tournament or around, and I try to picture every shot the way I would like to hit it. And I think a lot of people do that.
What made you choose UCLA to spend your college years?
Well, I think I was in 5th grade when I told my best friend I wanted to go to UCLA. And honestly, when I was in 5th grade, the biggest reason was the colors and the mascot and just being in Westwood. And then later on, I was like, UCLA has probably the best women's golf program in the nation. And I knew that if I wanted to really push my golf career forward, I wanted to come here, which allowed me to play golf year-round and be on a strong team and have that really good competitive experience.
Tiffany, how long has blue and gold been on your radar?
Well, ever since I started doing like the recruitment and stuff, and I just met Coach and Cory and Alicia, our assistant coach. Even now, they were the most welcoming, they're most approachable, and they're really supportive the whole time, and their program was just amazing. So it's been probably, I committed pretty early in junior year, so I probably started the recruitment process in sophomore year.
Well, golf is all about good approaches, and we're glad that Cory Forsyth and Alicia approached the two of you. Had you come over to Westwood and the women's golf team finishing up a season with a bright future coming up next year. We wish you the best. Thanks for joining us. Have a great summer.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more UCLA Bruin Talk as we get a little quicker out on the track right after this public service announcement.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA. Champions meet here.
Welcome back to UCLA Bruin Talk. Before we talk to our next guest, let's take a look at the UCLA Athlete of the Week, which is the entire rowing varsity 8 boat. This week, we honor the varsity 8 boat of women's rowing. This season, the rowing team achieved NCAA competition berth for the first time since its induction as an official NCAA sport in fall of 2001. The team finished 12th overall at the championships, and the varsity 8 boat finished 5th in the semifinal heat after defeating Clemson, Tennessee, and Ohio State in the elimination rounds. They managed to best their Pac-10 competitor Washington by 5 seconds. The team also competed in the petite final and posted a third-place finish with a time of 6 minutes 33 seconds, just 1.12 seconds off from second-place Brown. Congratulations to the varsity 8 athletes, and good luck to the rest of the UCLA rowing team. And if you'd like additional information on UCLA athletics, check out our website at www.uclabruins.com.
It's a great time in the college sports season and in the sport of track and field. The NCAA championships are fast approaching up at Hayward Field at the University of Oregon. We are very, very happy to have 3 guests joining us on this segment. In the middle, one of the great names of American track, Johnny Gray, in his first year coaching at UCLA, and flanking him, a couple of 800-meter specialists, Cory Primm and Scott Crawford. Gentlemen, congratulations on both qualifying for the NCAAs. Cory, you're getting set, huh?
Yeah, this is going to be exciting for me to finally know what I'm doing when I get to NCAAs. I've been twice and didn't really know what was going on when I got there, but this year I feel pretty confident that I can make some noise and make the final.
What's different this year?
I've run 147 like 5 or 6 times. When I made it before, I'd only run it once my freshman year, and I didn't run it at all my sophomore year. So this year I feel confident that I'm able to run at least 146 in the prelim, and definitely better than that in the final.
Johnny, we mentioned your brilliant career on the track. Of course, you coached at Harvard-Westlake, here at UCLA first year. You got to be proud of these 2 guys sitting next to you.
Oh yes, I'm very proud of them. I mean, the first thing that comes with being a great athlete is you have to be coachable. And these 2 guys have what it takes to become a world-class athlete because of that trait. I mean, they're dedicated to the sport, they're focused, and they have trust, and they're loyal to the sport as well as myself, the coach.
Scott, you got to feel pretty good about the NCAAs coming up. You're coming off a personal best. Tell us about the last race.
Oh, last race, it was kind of a do-or-die race for me. I was in the heat with Cory, and I tucked in right behind him and followed him, and I knew it was always with him in training all the time, so I kind of let him lead me to a new personal best, and I got the last spot qualifying for nationals, so I'm really excited to be there for the first time.
And Cory, let me ask you, you got a pretty big name in track as your coach sitting next to you, so without asking him, tell me a little bit about what kind of a coach he is and what you've learned from him so far.
Well, Johnny Gray ran 142.6, which is the American record. I don't even know how long ago it was. That's how long it's been that he's had the American record. 85.
Yeah, he remembers.
And the thing that Johnny Gray could do is he could run 143 in practice, and he could run 144 all the time. So me being consistent.
And that's a tough race.
It is
a very tough race.
So he knows how to do it. He knows how to get it done. So when he tells me what to do in practice, I don't doubt, like, oh, does he know what he's talking about? Or, that never comes to my mind. I just try to get it done. And also this year, a different thing is that years before, it would be in practice, like, try to run something, and if I hit a certain time, it was okay, but this year it's not okay. It's like, that's not fast enough. Why didn't you do better? And that's what you need to get better.
A little more tough love this year.
Yeah, definitely.
He sees your potential.
I've been yelled at a lot of times.
Nice.
Coach, you competed in 4 Olympics, Pan American gold medalist a couple of times, and as Cory mentioned, still the American record holder in the 800 meters. We talked a little bit before we started our show about what it was like running on crushed brick and the changes in track over the years. Your record has held up over all those different technological changes.
Yes, I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, I started running in the 11th grade, and I wasn't a great athlete. I was just a dedicated athlete. I was dedicated to the sport, and I trusted in my coach. And okay, I got the symbol. I got the sign. But boom, that's what it takes. See, he gone.
You come up with your own sound effect.
But yeah, I have a theme music everywhere I go when I walk. But I teach my athlete that proper preparation prevents poor performances. And it doesn't only count in track, it counts in life. I mean, anything you want to be successful at, you have to prepare yourself properly and you have to stay focused. And that's what I did to become the American record holder. And I've come close several times, but I might have broken that American record because I lacked focus as well. I mean, I wasn't perfect, but you know, sometimes you have to have a bad race in order to get ready for that great race because you learn from your mistakes. So I also teach the kids that, you know, when you have a bad race, you know, it's okay. It's just that you're as good as your last race. And every time they have a bad race, it's kind of a tough week the following week in training. But I get them back on the track immediately so I can get their focus and keep their confidence level up high. And that's what helped me in my career. My coach, he always basically, whenever I would have a bad race, put me right back out there. And like I tell my athletes, the more you race, the better you are. And I would run like 50 races a year. So, I mean, running 142, 143 became like clockwork for me. And as Cory spoke, he ran 147 several times. And that's a sign of big things to come. So
You competed in such elite company, as we mentioned, the Olympics 4 times, for crying out loud. But you've got 2 guys who are facing really the biggest race of their year up in the NCAAs, maybe the biggest race of their lives. How do you make sure that their focus is on the tasks they have to accomplish without getting overwhelmed by the enormity of the stage?
Well, we keep it simple. What they're doing is no different than what I did in the Olympics. I mean, what I did in the Olympics, I was prepared for the Olympics. That's why I was there. What they're doing now is the NCAAs. It's just a smaller stage than the Olympic, but it's the same focus, the same concept. Go out and do you. You can't try to do anything different. You can't worry about who's in lane 4, who's in lane 5. Just worry about your lane and execute. I give them a race plan. Like I said, proper preparation prevents poor performances. So if they go into the race with a plan and execute, then they're going to be successful. Like I say, winners don't always come in first place. As long as you give your best, then you're a winner. And I try to teach them to go out there and give their best. Scott,
tell us about the excitement level of heading to Eugene.
I'm really excited about it. The field is really, really deep this year. I think a 147.90 didn't make the national meet, so it was a big breakthrough for me. And like Coach described, I'm not too nervous about it just because I know what I have to execute in my race. I'm not worried about other people. And the way we've been training, we train really hard, a lot harder than I've been used to in the past. And I think that's prepared us really well just to run fast, because we practice running fast like every day.
Do you have a clock in your head as you're running the race?
My best performances, I have no idea what I'm coming through in my splits. It's just about trying to beat other people and just kind of sticking my nose in it and coming out at the end. So he's prepared us really well for that.
It's the tempo.
It's the tempo, yeah.
You guys are leaving pretty soon here for Eugene. So, Coach, tell me, what are they going to be doing in these next couple days before they leave to Oregon to prepare for their performance?
Well, we have a secret workout that we're going to do.
Okay.
And
so don't give it up here. We don't need to know.
No, we won't give it up. 'Cause I teach them that too. If you don't give it up, you don't have to make it up. So we're not going to give it up, but we will make it up.
All right. So, Cory, talk to me a little bit about what it means to you to be a Bruin and why did you choose UCLA?
I like UCLA because I like California, Southern California, and I like the people on the team, and it's a good academic school. And
speaking of academics, how are you handling the training and dealing track?
This week is horrible.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get through finals and stuff, but I'm going to do it and I'll be okay.
You know, we always ask athletes about their support for other programs on campus, but when you show up with a Den t-shirt, we know you're into it.
Yeah, I'm all about UCLA and about the basketball team, and it's hard to go to the football games, but I do when I can. So.
He's a local guy, Scott. You're from Sacramento, Northern California. UCLA not quite as on the radar up there, but what brought you down to Westwood?
I actually didn't know much about UCLA, but my parents went to Sac State, so they weren't very big schools in the college thing. So I actually thought USC and UCLA were the same school when I was in high school. And then I ran really well at Arcadia Invitational my senior year and got recruited really late. And as soon as I stepped on campus, I was really impressed, and I loved it, and I committed right there. So I've always loved UCLA, and I love the academics and how strong they are, and trying to take advantage of that as much as I can. And it was just the best combination for everything, and I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Coach, you talked about getting recruited late. You coached high school athletes, and of course now you're looking for quality athletes to come to UCLA. How can you tell as a talent evaluator those kids that may be the late bloomers?
Well, so, I mean, you can look at a state champion and okay, that's great, but sometimes I look at the build, I look at movement, and then I look at mistakes they make in the race. And if I see a kid that makes a big mistake, I say, man, if he didn't make that mistake, he probably could have won. So I take advantage of an advantage. I grab that kid because I can get him as a walk-on or for books and make him into the star that I know he's capable of being. I just have an eye for a good 800-meter runner. Scott ran the mile all year, and I just knew that his chances in the 800 was better than the mile. Not because he's not a great miler, because he's a great miler, but I figured that his chances would be a lot higher percentage-wise if he ran the 8. He ran the 8 in high school, and in fact, he took second in state, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, to Cory, actually.
To Cory, in fact. So
Really?
Yeah.
that was a great move we made because Scott stepped his game up big time. I compared Scott with Weeding, and they have the same movement. If you watch them race, they have the same movement. And that's what I said, I have an eye for a great 800-meter runner, and I think that Scott have big things to come. I think Scott can be a 144, 143 half miler, as well as a sub 4-minute miler. On
800 meters is such a tough race. I mean, you can't relax, but you can't go flat out. How does an athlete learn just that bit of pacing to accomplish their best?
Well, it takes practice. I mean, it's not easy because our sport, like I tell my athletes, is every other sport's punishment. So it's not going to be easy. When you're out of shape, when you're out of shape, it's tough, and when you're in shape, it's tough. It's just that when you're in shape and you hurt, you can recover faster because you're usually celebrating a PR, a great time, American record, a world record, a school record, and when you have something good to come behind that pain, you get over it quicker.
I've never heard it expressed that way, but yeah, in basketball, too many turnovers you run, all kinds of sports, an error you run. In track, what do you do if you do wrong?
Well, on an easy day, you still get punished. and a basketball player will never get the punishment of our easy day. If they like our easy day, it's usually what? Tell them, fellas, what's our easy day usually consist of?
5 miles easy.
8 miles easy, something like that.
So I don't think a basketball player want to do that.
And that's funny. I was just talking about soccer, how I dreaded my 2-mile race. So your easy day is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for most.
So what's a hard day? A day that's no secrets. Tell us about what's a really hard day in track. 'Cause I don't think people understand how difficult track practice is.
Well, I mean,
for 800, what are they running?
Well, 800, miler, they all basically run the same. You just kind of put it in different forms. They're doing anything from 9 to 10 miles, 11, 12-mile intervals, repeat miles, repeat 800s, 200s, 300s, with little rest in the early part of the season. You get more rest in this time of the season. But like I said, it's punishment. So we talk about it, but it's not going to get any easier.
Well, they are off to the NCAA championships. We wish you the best of luck, gentlemen. Been a great segment meeting with you. And Coach, you're having a great time, I'm sure, in your first year as a head coach, as an assistant coach at UCLA. Congratulations on the job well done.
Thank you.
And you can follow along the progress of the Bruin athletes on UCLABruins.com. We'll be there too. We'll see you next time on another edition of UCLA Bruin Talk.
Go Bruins!